Okay, so in this video we're going to look at equations of circles, and we're going to look at how to write the equations, and we're going to look at how to write the equations, and we're going to look at how to derive the equation. Not derive the equations. We have a separate video that I just filmed that shows you actually how to derive the equation of a circle and where the equation of the circle comes from. So first one is write the equation of a circle given the center and the radius. So basically in this one, you're going to be given the center of the circle and the radius. And just to kind of review you, here's the equation of a circle. The equation of the circle is r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. That's the formula for the equation, not a formula, that's the equation of a circle. And we got that from the distance formula, which is on a previous video. So here's the equation. HK, remember, represents your center. That's the center. And R represents your radius. Okay? So I want to write the equation here and prevent my paper from falling off. So if I want to write the equation, what I have to first be given is given the circle, center, and the circle, the center of the circle and the radius. I cannot talk this evening. So let's use some color here. All right, example A. Let's say that the center is 3, 2, and the radius, I can spell radius, by the way. I'm just checking to make sure you're paying attention. And the radius equals 5. So I'm going to write the equation of this circle. So what I'm going to do is I know that the equation equals the radius squared. So what's my radius? 5. So I'm going to have 5 squared equals x minus, and h is my x coordinate of my center, which is 3 squared, plus y minus k, which is my y value of my center, squared. And there you go. Now you will also see it written like this. I'll actually write the square out, so we'll actually do 5 squared is 25. So you can see it both ways. So that's how you write the equation. So let's do one more example. Since we're acing this right now, I know y'all are acing this. You're saying, I understand this. This is so easy. So now I'm going to change the center of my circle to -4, 1, and I'm going to change my radius to 3. So now once again I'm going to find the equation of the circle. So my radius is 3, so 3 squared, because remember it's radius squared, equals x minus your coordinate. Well, what is my x coordinate? -4. That means it's x minus -4. That's important, because what's that going to change to? Positive. Plus y minus k, which is 1. So I have to rewrite this here, so I'm going to take 3 squared. I'm going to go ahead and make it 9. And what does minus a negative change to? Plus a positive, so that becomes x plus 4 squared plus y minus 1 squared. So here's your equation of the first one, and here's your equation of the second one. So again, that's how you write the equation of a circle when you're given the center of the circle and the radius. Again, it's r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The next one is write the equation of a circle given the center and a point on the circle. So now I'm going to give you the center, and I'm going to give you a point on the circle, but I'm not going to give you the radius. So, example A, the center of the circle, let's say it's at 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay? So if the center of the circle is at 2, 3, I'm going to give you a point on the circle, another point that's on the circle. Not the radius, but another point that's on the circle. And let me see here. I'm going to try to think of something that might give you an equal radius. So we've got, let's see, 1, 4. Okay, we'll say 1, 4. So I've got a center and a point on the circle. I can't just write the equation, because what does the equation need? The equation needs the radius and the center. I've got the center but I don't know the radius. So what I have to do here, what I have to do here is I have to find the radius. Well, how do I find the radius? Well, what do you know about a circle? When you graph a circle, let's say I've got 2, 3. That's my center, right? And then we'll look at 1, 4. 1, 4 is up here. That's on the circle. So my circle looks something like this. Well, what do you know about a circle? A circle is the set of all points that are equidistant, the same distance from the center. So in order for me to find the radius, it would then make sense for me just to find the distance between the center and that point, because that's the radius. The distance between the center and any point on the circle is the radius. So let's bring in the distance formula, your favorite thing ever. And the distance formula, remember, is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And if you remember back from in the fall, the distance formula is actually just the Pythagorean theorem solved out. So we're going to use this. So I'm going to find the distance. And I've got my 2 points. What are my two x's? 2 and 1. So 2 minus 1 squared. Plus my 2 y's, which are 3 and 4. 3 minus 4 squared. So then I'm going to continue on. 2 minus 1 is 1, so 1 squared. And 3 minus 4 is negative 1, so 1 squared. So my distance is going to equal the square root of 1 plus 1, because negative 1 squared is 1, which is the square root of 2. So my radius is an ugly square root of 2. So what I'm going to do now, again, I used the distance formula to find the radius because I knew the radius is represented by the distance from the center to a point on the circle. So here's my radius, square root of 2. So how do I write this nasty equation? Well, look back up here. The equation of the circle, radius squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. So what's my radius? Square root of 2. So basically it's square root of 2 squared equals, what's my center? 2, so x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared, because that's my center. And then if I want to write this out without a radical, what's square root of 2 times square root of 2? Square root of 4, which is just 2. Because remember, square root and squared are inverse operations. They undo each other. So here's my equation of my circle. And that's how you find the equation of a circle given a point on the circle and the center. You have to use the distance formula. Okay? So moving right along, let's do the next one. Graph the circle given the equation. This one's actually very simple, not because I'm a math teacher and I know everything. Well, I know most things. But anyway, all right, here's the equation. What do you know is the equation of a circle? You know the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared, right? Honey, I'm busy, hold on. So what we're going to do first is look at the equation we have. What is my h? My h is 4. What is my k? Well, it's plus 2, so that means it was minus negative 2. So my center, all right, you two. So my center is at 4, negative 2. So I'm going to go over 4 and down 2. So that's my center. Hold on. My radius, if r squared is 4, what's my radius? 2, right? Because isn't 4 2 squared? So my radius is 2. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to count up 2. I'm going to count to the left 2. I'm going to count down 2. And I'm going to count to the right 2. Shh. And that's how I draw my circle. Because what I've done is I've created, all of these radii are 2, right? And what's my center? My center's at 4, negative 2. So that's how I find the equation of the circle, or that's how I graph the circle given the equation. You basically graph the center, and then you use the equation to find the radius. Okay? So I've got one more on graphing the circles, and that is to write the equation of the circle given the graph. Well, once again, what do we know the equation of a circle is? r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, right? What do I plug in for h and k? The center. What is my center? My center, right here, if I do the coordinates of my center, is at negative 2, 1. I'm over 2 and up 1. So r squared equals x minus, what's h? Negative 2, right? That's my h value, negative 2, plus y minus my k value, which is 1 squared. What's my radius? Well, if I look at the circle, I can just count left, right, or up and down. 1, 2, 3. My radius is 3. If you see I count here, it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3. The radius is 3. So instead of r squared, I'm going to have 3 squared equals x. And then what does minus a negative change to? Plus a positive. X plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared. And if I want to completely write this out, I can square that 3. And that's 9 equals x plus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared. And that is the equation of the circle from the graph. You find the center, and then you count to find the radius. Now, if you can't feasibly count to find the radius, you can always pick a point on the circle and do what we did in the previous example, which is to find the distance formula, which I know you really enjoy. So anyway, that's how we write the equation of a circle given the graph. So those are 4 different ways we can use equations of circles to either graph or find equations. All right, you guys say night-night geometry. Say it, say night-night geometry.
Night-night geometry.